Jerusalem, the ancient city filled with sacred meaning for three great religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. I'm Christiane Amanpour. For the last 30 years, religion has exploded as a powerful political force, with an army of followers who share a deep dissatisfaction with modern secular society and a fierce determination to bring God and religion back to the seat of power. We call them God's warriors. For 8 months, I've traveled the world.
Hello.
Investigating who they are, what they want, and why they believe it's a battle they cannot afford to lose. Now, God's Christian warriors, the religious right in America. They have transformed the nation's landscape with a mix of faith and politics.
Good Christians ought to make good citizens. Vote in every election. Become a part of every campaign.
In the beginning, there was Jerry Falwell.
After 55 years in the ministry,
The Baptist preacher who became the godfather of the Christian right.
Our politicians need to be men and women who take their faith into the halls of Congress, into the voting booth.
And from the beginning, there was controversy. As Falwell thrust religion into politics, his mission was to change America.
And let's see to it that we keep a president and a control in the Senate and the House of men and women who believe in the moral values that this nation was built on.
I was the last journalist to interview Falwell in the spring, a week before his sudden death.
That's the Blue Ridge Mountains out there.
He showed me around his Liberty University, which now has 10,000 students on campus in Lynchburg, Virginia. Are you expanding?
We're growing by about 1,000 students a year. This is the first dorm we ever built.
This one?
Right there. It's got a number 1 on it. You can't see it now.
Yeah, I see it.
Can you?
Number 1, female. Dorms are either male or female. At this Liberty, there is no freedom to go astray.
We're an alcohol-free zone. We're a tobacco-free zone. We have no co-ed dorms. Catch a boy and a girl's dorm, we think about shooting him. We don't, but we think about it.
Here, faith is at the top of the curriculum. All students must take classes on the Old and New Testaments and a course comparing science and scripture, evolution and the creation.
I want to be trained for Christ, and I want to have strong biblical values.
It took Falwell a third of a century to build Liberty University.
This is my first semester here at Liberty.
What are you studying?
Business management.
To ensure these students carry on his crusade and shape his legacy. You say you're raising a generation of pit bulls to go out and grab the world by the throat. What is it that you want them to do?
We're trying to raise up a generation of young people who will confront the culture.
Not the church, not the state.
A culture he believed has gone seriously awry.
Marriage is a privilege.
We're trying to force God out of, and we have pretty well done it, the public square, the public schools, our public lives.
When Falwell became a minister half a century ago, America was very different. School days began with prayer, and the right to abortion was not the law of the land. Then came the social revolution of the 1960s, and American lifestyles changed.
America in the 60s had a revolution of excess, where you had Elvis and you had drugs and you had sex, and at the same time as you had a very punishing foreign war, the Vietnam War.
Religious historian Bruce Lawrence.
So all these other elements, both international and national, that seemed to portend a very dangerous and uncertain future, pushed people to look for other answers.
In 1973, the Supreme Court decision Roe v. Wade allowed the right to abortion and touched off a Christian counter-revolution.
And out of that, moral majority was born.
It would mean a sea change in American politics and in the courts.
When we started Moral Majority, we were novices. You could have gotten most of our preachers who were interested in public policy in a phone booth at the time.
His movement transcended denominations. Falwell joined ranks with Catholics, Mormons, and social conservatives. By the 1980 presidential election, the moral majority mobilized millions of voters. And while Ronald Reagan needed almost no help in his landslide victory over Jimmy Carter, with Falwell in the ring, 12 Democratic senators did lose their seats over issues like abortion.
We just got everybody registered. We got them to the polls, and they pulled an R for Reagan, went on down with R's, and 12 liberal senators went out of business.
Suddenly, conservative Christians had become a political force, portraying themselves then and now as an endangered species whose values were under attack. Issues would be cast in moral terms. Faith and politics would become inseparable.
The press found us the next day. We were not on the radar. Named us the religious right, intending to be pejorative, but I sort of like that.
At commencement now, Republican stars and presidential hopefuls make the required pilgrimage to Falwell School. In 2006, John McCain delivered the commencement address. In 2007, it was Newt Gingrich.
We must recognize that we are a nation founded and sustained by our Creator.
But did Gingrich set the right example for students of the moral majority, given his public admission of an adulterous affair? How do you resolve what looks sort of hypocritical?
We're not trying to elect a pastor or a Sunday school teacher, not a pastor-in-chief. We're looking for a commander-in-chief.
Welcome to Iowa. Thank you. Great to be here. Happy 4th of July to you. You too.
In other words, all sorts of compromise is possible in a presidential season where none among the current field of Republican candidates has excited the conservative Christian base of the party. Falwell even told me the 2008 Republican presidential nominee could meet quite a different standard than usual. You basically said that for you in this next election, correct me if I'm wrong,
security.
It's security rather than the social issues that you care so deeply about.
We'd love to get in one package a man, a woman who's strong on security and right on the social issues. We got to find the person closest to where we are.
I believe those prayers keep them coming.
He dismissed Democrats like Senators Clinton and Obama.
It's like the story of Chelsea Clinton interviewing some Marines returning from Iraq. And she asked one of them the question, what do you fear most? And he, after a thought, said, Osama, Obama, and your mama. Well, I'm not saying that really happened, but that's how I feel.
That's how you feel?
That's right.
And Falwell continued to connect liberal beliefs to Islamic terrorism, such as blaming the attacks of September 11th on the prevalence of abortion in America. You know, you caused a huge amount of controversy after 9/11 when you basically said that the Lord was removing his protection from America.
I still believe that. I believe that a country that
and that America probably deserved it.
Here's what I said. I said that the people are responsible, must take the blame for it.
You did. You went on to say what I've just said.
We're killing 1 million babies a year in this country by abortion. And I was saying then, I'm saying now, that if we, in fact, change all the rules on which this Judeo-Christian nation was built, we cannot expect the Lord to put his shield of protection around us as he has in the past.
So you still stand by that?
I stand right by it.